read an amazing book that changed everything for me, called Healing Your Thyroid, medical medium Healing Your Thyroid. And that gave such good information as far as nutritional things you can do to help your thyroid function. And, you know, my thyroid, one side of it wasn't functioning properly because of the mass. So I think it's helped it along, you know, as it shrinks, it's going to start to function better. And I'm going to do nutrition to help it along. But I think the RFA in my case was absolutely necessary.
Yes. I think it was medically necessary, as well as just necessary for you with the history that you had. And also, did you see it? I mean, you said your doctor saw it right away. After he saw it, were you able to then see a change in your, like, from looking at old pictures and things cosmetically?
Absolutely. I did. I went back and looked at old pictures, and I could see exactly when it started to develop. I mean, I was like, how could I not have noticed this? You know, how could I not have seen this? But, you know, see, like, even right now, my hair is completely covering this side of my neck, which is where it was. So,
okay.
I mean,
wow, your neck looks great.
Thank you.
It really looks great.
It looks almost normal.
It does.
I can
That's
still
amazing.
Feel it, for sure. But, like, you know, this side feels normal and this side there's a hard, you know, but you can't see it, like, unless you're looking for it.
Right.
And so, I was like, how did no one notice? How did I not notice? But I will say this, and I don't know if this is too out there for your podcast, but I will say this, that I am a person that wants to, I want to get to the root of why something happened, and I want to try and prevent it from happening again. And so the first thing I wanted to do was get to the physical reason. And I know, like, a lot of doctors have theories of why nodules develop, and there's all kinds of things. I think for me, it was Epstein-Barr is what it was. I developed
mono. That's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah. I had mono when I was in junior high, and it was a very severe case. Then my appendix ruptured immediately after.
Oh, no.
Which I also think was Epstein-Barr. And then I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia a couple years later. I think that was Epstein-Barr. So I think that, you know, it progressed in my body and then attacked my thyroid, I think is what happened. But through a series of events, I began to realize that there was an emotional element to this. And it hit me like a wave of bricks during a conversation. I just realized that I do believe that our body can do things because of our emotions. You know, I mean, I think if you're stressed, you can develop heart problems. And
absolutely.
You know, and so I feel like for me, I'd gone through a season in my life where I had been involved in a really toxic situation, and I had never really stood up for myself. I tried to be the better person. I didn't speak up. I basically silenced myself. And I believe that is the emotional element that really made that, combined with the other physical things. I think that really is what caused this nodule, is not saying what I needed to say. And literally I was choking myself. You know, I was really stifling myself. And it was a stunning thing for me to realize. And it was so obvious once I did realize it. I was like, oh my goodness, how did I not see this? Because I consider myself to be a very spiritually in tune person. But I had not put that together. And when I did, it just all made so much sense. And I went back and looked at pictures, and sure enough, I mean, the first time I can see something on my neck is when that situation was happening.
Wow.
And so I do believe that in addition to, you know, your physical treatment, that is obviously necessary in my case. I mean, I needed to have RFA no matter what. But I do believe that I needed to heal the emotional part of this, and I needed to say what I needed to say. That was killing me. You know, it was literally stifling me. I needed to cut that soul tie, and I needed to heal that part of me. So I worked really hard to do that, and it was painful, but it was necessary. And I can't tell you how much better I feel emotionally. And I think that that's going to contribute to my physical healing as well. So
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
I know it's a little.
I don't know anything about that.
I know it's a little
personally
for some people. I don't think it was the sole reason, but I do think it contributed. So I worked really hard to heal not only the physical, but the emotional side of it. I do believe in more of a holistic approach. You know, our body, our mind, body, and soul are all connected. And so I feel like anyone who has nodules, I would encourage you to, maybe there isn't something like that. I don't know, but just to search, you know, within your heart and see, is there anything that you've stifled yourself about, that you haven't allowed yourself to speak, and whatever that situation is, to work towards healing that and finding peace. Because I do believe that if I didn't heal that emotional element, I feel like the nodule would come back. You know, it would continue. So I know not everyone really believes in that kind of stuff, but I do. And it definitely helped me. And I feel so much better emotionally and physically. And I think those two go hand in hand. So,
there's definitely a mind-body connection. There's so much that, you know, even mainstream medicine can attribute to what's in your mind. And I'm sure that is also related to your feelings and your emotions. And so while I don't know personally, I don't have an experience with that, a lot of it makes sense to me. I went through several years of a very difficult time prior to even really addressing this. And I remember always having that feeling of, you know, just like a tightness in my throat, like a lump in your throat, like when you're about to cry. And, you know, I just chalked it up to stress from the time that I was living through. So, you know, there definitely could be something to that. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, and it may not be something everyone wants to explore, but the way that I saw it was, why not? You know, I mean, I want to find the most healing that I can. I want to feel as good as I possibly can. And it was so worth it. I honestly think that part of my journey was the most fulfilling and the most freeing. And I think it went hand in hand with RFA, and it was really an important aspect of it for me. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's the end of this segment. To keep watching, click here. Or YouTube thinks you might like this video. If the story resonates with you, give this video a thumbs up or consider subscribing. And never forget to always educate yourself and be your own health advocate.